this is my actual name in the passport. It's like a counter thing that I have a nickname, so you can call me Jane. So I've been a designer for like many years. I do like print design, visual design, package design, so like tangible stuff, plus like design visual in general. Most of my work is design for like musical artists, but also like moving image. So I did a lot of like animation, frame by frames, um, using like a hand draw animation analog. Seems to be like different from what you're interested, but I will get to there. um, so as a designer, so like this is a music video for like Thai music artists in Thailand, and I in love with the medium. I love like moving image, but I feel like something is missing as being designer. Um, so when you work as a designer, you kind of like um, decide for someone's vision and kind of like make that vision like complete and work together, collaborate with the artist. Um, but then I joined like MFADT and I start finding like my own voice, what I really interested. So I come back and redefine like what is my medium saying about like my voice. So this is like my own project about like dreaming. So I really interested in unconscious moment that we have. So I take as sleep talk voice and make a visual out of it, kind of like trying to use art to like define what is it, like what is my practice, what is my interest in. So at the start of like how I start using like medium to tell story. And then I find myself that like more than 10 hours a day I sit in front of computer because I draw like digitally. So I sit in front of computer and use computer like all the time, and my body kind of stuck in the same posture like every day. And I realized that our digital devices shape us to do it that way. Um, and the way that my posture staying that way is also reshape my mind to kind of like for us to be like move slower, not really expressive. So my medium kind of shift a little bit from like, okay, I was like using screen like 90% of my work. How can I get out of it? How can I do more physical stuff? So I interested in my focus during like master degree was physical computing. So I do like using sensor to tell a story that I'm interested. So this is a project called Automatic. It's wearable devices that disrupt the um, relationship between like digital devices and you and your body. So it's like a three pieces together. So this is the first piece called keyboard. So it's a keyboard, but instead of you typing using like a conventional keyboard, you have to tap on your body, which is have like conductive thread, um, embroider like as a letter, and you tap on it. And the more common letter is on the back. So basically, you have to stretch to kind of like typing. Yeah, and this is click kick, which is like instead of using like conventional mouse, you wear like this shoe cover, and then you move around like almost like a dancing to move the mouse on the laptop. Um, and the last one is the color piece that when you use your phone a lot, it will recognize the posture and then it will send message to your phone telling you that you are staying in this posture too long. So these are like devices that basically like make it like exaggerate on how we wanted to make devices that make we move faster, interact faster, and like easy for life. But like, what about our mind? Like, can we be mindful and expressive on this like environment? So that's the first piece. Um, and then after that, I create this piece that called remembering. Supposed to be okay. So remembering is basically, as you can see, is a receipt printer. And if you don't know like how a receipt printer works, it is print by heat. So there is no ink inside the printer, it's only heat, right? So the paper is sensitive to the temperature. Um, and it's printing in a loop. So on top of this installation, it has like heat pad on it. So why I'm doing this? The printer is print the same story again and again about regretting, and it's printing in a loop, right? So it's reprint itself, and um, at the beginning of the installation, people still like perceive like what is it, what is the story, they can still read it. But once it's run like for a day, for hours, days, it's like all the stories turn to be gray and like can perceivable. So this exploration is more like a explore, kind of like represent how our memory is limited. So we always use technology to capture memory, right? Try to extend like how we can remember things like photograph and other stuff. So this one is more like, what if I represent like using technology to represent like how memory is so limited and we can't really keep it, or like keep it, not change it, like it's changed over time. So this installation kind of replicate that idea of like the memory is changing, and it might be like physical noise, or like we, because we recall many times, it's distorted. Um, so I started this project from a couple years ago. My brother passed away with cancer, and I started like missing him a lot. But I trying to remember his voice, but every time I try to remember, I feel like it changes. So I trying to like make the art piece that kind of like heal me inside in a way, and also like kind of like refine like what is it, like this feeling that I have. Um, and this piece is the result of like the 10 weeks um, program with School for Poetic Computation. Is really lovely community. Everyone is come from different background. Like I am from designer background, many people from engineer background, and we kind of come together, work together, collaborate, and explore like many things that really mean to us in like in deeper level, not just like make it something cool. Um, Something cool is good, but something deeper or like meaningful to to myself, to my folks, is really good to see the result. Um, so that's like my personal projects. I also have another side that continue on being designer and using technology. So I have a small studio with friend called Anyways, Here's the Thing. Um, it's in Bushwick, and we do mostly like creative, um, like interactive installation for clients. And this project we work with the city, New York City, to put light installation in Brownsville neighborhood. Um, so just a little bit of the background. So they have the open call that, so the neighborhood is kind of like not really safe at night. So the city have like this funding that they want to put to make like to use technology to make like the neighborhood like safer. So we pitched this and we got like this um, project. So we got commission from the city, and how it works is if someone walk past, um, so it will be on the street light, and if someone walk past, it will light up. But the thing is, it's not only light up on this pole, but it will light up in the network. So this is my coworker Tyler and Henry, and this is like some custom board that we made for the project. Let's see how it works. So this is like the video simulation. So when someone walk past it, the pole on the next one also light up. So it's work in a network. Yeah, and for this phrase, the color was like random in spectrum, so it changes. Um, so this project is still ongoing and it's been delayed a lot, but yeah, it should be up like the end of this year. The other part of the project is we also work with Brownsville Justice Center that we got like all the funding to fund like all the structure for the light, right? But we also thinking like what about the year after we leave? Can they still use the light? So we have like this class that we teach like kids in the neighborhood to be able to code and use like those structures to be able to continue if they wanted to. So then that structure not just like one time use and then throw away, but also it's almost like a platform for kids in the neighborhood to be continue to use this light for like the next thing, whatever they want. Yeah, so we have that class teaching kid in the neighborhood too. And the last part that is still ongoing, and I'm working with this music artist called Sirin Tip. So I designed her album cover and single, everything like poster and stuff. Um, and you see the mask here, it's just like photogrammetry, like the 3D scan face, um, and create like her face, and then draw, and then yeah. So like the level of like the faces, cause like she half Thai, half Swedish, so she feel like she can speak three languages. So like Thai, Swedish, and also like now she live in New York. So she feel like she have like three personality as she like can speak three languages. I don't know if anyone can speak two languages, but you know what I mean. Like when you speak other languages, kind of shape your new identity, how you express yourself. Um, I also like create like this collar piece that she wear for perform. So when she sing, depends on the it have many modes, but like when she sing, it will light up, and the form of it is the Fibonacci form. So it's like and like the material is like reflect to the light. So when she wear it, yeah, it's like kind of enhance her performance, like to like this is like some sketch and like tape. Um, and I also recently to like do this AR filter for her based on like the artwork as well. So like you can see I skip from like many platforms like physical, digital, and graphic, and engineer, kind of like in between, play around. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Thank you.
Do you have any questions about Wayne's work?
For the facial scan, did you like scan it or did you draw it like for the facial?
For this one,
Yeah, the faces. Did you draw those or did you like scan a face?
so there is two layer of that, right? So this part is draw,
Okay.
and then like this part and this part is scan. Yeah.
Any questions? Ripley?
Can you please talk more about those color changing street lights?
Yeah. So honestly, it's like still going on. Like we going back and forth with the city. So the phrase that we pitching and we have to be like finish it is like now the color is just going to spectrum. The city wanna push it to like be able to pull some data, so like that pole can have like some data to be useful for the neighborhood. So we've been talking a lot about like the bus stop time. So there are only two bus that pass that street. So we were thinking of like maybe like if one bus is about to arrive, it's blinking like one color, and if the other bus coming is like bring in another color like yellow, or like the other one blue, something like that. But we're not there yet, because like the contract we have is not, we don't have to cover it, but we think it's really useful to have it too. So yeah, we kind of like talk back and forth about that. Do you want to know anything specifically?
No, I just wanted to hear more about it.
I see, yeah.
I really like this concept a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. So it looks like really pretty, right? But
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, like how it affects, like keeping the neighborhood safer.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem to like floodlight the place. So I'm just kind of wondering what the goal is.
Well, in general, so like how the cop use like the spotlight to like kind of like blow the neighborhood when it's like dark, right? We think like that is really kind of like, I know it's like brighter is like safer in general, right? So like we just think like the different way to like not just like blow, have spotlight blow the neighborhood, but more like a have like a settle like light to show up. We don't know exactly that it will totally help, but like like when it's like brighter, it's like harder to do something bad. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Is there a link for the website where I can like read more about this thing?
So we haven't documented and we haven't launched it that much. I think the city, I can send like the one that city like talking about the project to Jesse, but we don't have like officially like launch the whole thing or like do like the document well. So now we just like working on it and talk about it just now for now. Yeah.
Okay. I think we have time for one last question.
Are the colors in these lights like it seems like in the animation they cycle a bit. Is there like is it following a pattern or does it change based on like time of day or something like that?
Yeah, for now it's going to spectrum. So like the one next to it in the spectrum is like not fancy now. Just like from blue to green to yellow, like a, yeah. So it's like in a way now it's kind of random, but it's like potentially can push more. Just like the funding that we got is can do to this point, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Round of applause. Thank you. All right. Thank you, morning students.